Ben Hansen is investigating a close encounter of the third kind.
If I dial 911, they're gonna annihilate us.
These types of encounters have happened before. In 1955, the Sutton family of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, reported a close encounter unlike anything Ben has ever heard of before. They claimed that late one summer night, their friend Billy Ray witnessed a UFO land on the property before numerous aliens emerged from the woods and attacked their farmhouse. The Suttons responded by engaging in a firefight with the creatures.
Hurry up!
This family, after 4 hours of fighting off these creatures, they all pile into their trucks and speed into town to go to the police. These are people who take care of themselves. These are people who reach for their gun when there's trouble.
Right.
They don't go to the police.
Right.
So imagine you are the desk sergeant at the police department that night. 11 o'clock at night, 2 pickups come racing into the parking lot, skidding to a stop. 11 people go inside and report that a UFO, a flying saucer, has landed behind their house and that they've been attacked by little creatures. 16 law enforcement officers, the local police, the county sheriff, the state police, they all send people to the farm to see what they can find. And they find lots of evidence that this shootout really happened. There are holes in the screens, there's shot embedded in the window frames, there are shell casings scattered all over the ground, and one more piece of evidence was that there was a bald spot in the grass in the gully behind the farmhouse. Now this is where Billy Ray had first seen the object float down from the sky and land on the ground. There was a bald patch there that nobody ever investigated.
Well, that's something to follow up on, definitely. Anything that could possibly be still there as far as physical evidence, because it sounds like military, the law enforcement botched it.
It just raised too many tough questions, questions they just didn't want to deal with.
But you're telling me the police took it seriously, they came there, yet they didn't really do an investigation. The military shows up. What did the military conclude? Was the Air Force or Blue Book then involved after this?
The Air Force's involvement in this case is totally schizophrenic. They were all over this case, but publicly, they had no interest.
Wow.
In addition, and this is what the Air Force doesn't want you to remember, in addition, there were 4 military policemen from Fort Campbell, which was about 20 miles away. They were there almost instantly. There were also 2 men, 2 agents from a government agency that was never named, but they were wearing civilian clothes. But these 2 men showed up the day after the sighting and started asking a lot of questions. Nobody knows who they were. Nobody knows who they represented or who they worked for. But they were on the scene asking questions. So it's just one more layer of government involvement that they were desperately trying to cover up.
Well, once again, we might have a possible connection with a military base nearby, right? I don't know what they were doing at Fort Campbell at the time, but Trish Bishop in Florida has a view of some of the rocket launches, the shuttle launches, and things that happen at Cape Canaveral. It's something to look at that perhaps there's a connection to the activity happening at Fort Campbell. Is there any way that I could talk to anyone who might be related to the family still?
I think you could talk with Geraldine Sutton. She's the daughter of Lucky Sutton, who was kind of the main witness in the alien invasion case. She wasn't alive at the time it happened, but she's heard the stories from her family about that incident. I think you could learn a lot from her.
Oh, I would absolutely love that, and especially because this is such a fantastical story. She would be the one to get the details from.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark, once again.
All right, thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure.
Just like Trish Bishop, the Sutton family felt threatened by the presence of these creatures on their property, so much so that they opened fire on the beings. What is attracting these aliens to the private property of American citizens? And why are they displaying aggressive behavior?
I'm on my way to Kelly, Kentucky. The Sutton family encountered something quite freakish. The description of these creatures is so strange, but in a way it's similar to what Trish reported. Definitely not human. The craft landed somewhere near the property in the backyard. And then you also have the fact that a similar tic-tac shaped UFO was seen 11 miles away. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with a pattern that it might emerge as being relevant, but I'm here to find out.
Hopefully by meeting with Geraldine Sutton, I can get more details.
Hey, Geraldine.
Hey, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
You too, you too. So this is it, huh?
This is the great community of Kelly, Kentucky.
Wow. Wow. I don't imagine much has changed, has it?
No, not really.
Uh-huh.
Past that house right there, it was just
Wow.
field and trees.
So, Geraldine, tell me about that night. It was 1955. Who was there at this farmhouse and what happened?
Geraldine was not yet born when the encounter took place, but her father recounted the story in detail many times.
I call this the Great American Horror Story for a reason, because it was total terror, chaos, and horror that night. My dad and his wife at the time, Vera, and their friends, Billy Ray and June Taylor, they worked with the traveling carnival. They were stationed like 2 hours away in Evansville. They were so close, they decided to come in. Let's go home, let's see Mom. It was a Sunday evening, so my grandmother had gotten back from church. Sun was going down. Billy Ray decided to go out to the well. As he was going out, he heard something, looked up toward the sky, and saw something going across it, round, oval in shape, silver.
According to Geraldine's father, Billy Ray found himself face to face with a UFO. He bolted back to the house and told the others what he had just seen.
So my dad says, Billy Ray, let's go out to the well. You show me where you saw this at.
Billy Ray and Geraldine's father, Lucky, returned to the well. There they saw something beyond their wildest imaginings.
Lo and behold, from the back of the woods comes this little 3.5 foot tall being. Arms almost touching the ground.
Though the alien beings were not as imposing as the alien Trish saw, Geraldine's father and brother felt threatened.
So here you got two grown men running into the house, screaming there is something out here. Well, my dad told my grandmother, Mom, there's something out here, we saw it. Well, she knew it was really getting serious when one grabbed a rifle, one grabbed a shotgun, one went to the front door and one went to the back. All of a sudden, you can hear their nails going across the tin roof.
The Suttons had heard enough. They believed they were under a full-scale attack. It was time to shoot first and ask questions later.
Somebody screams, there's one in the big tree. He turns, shoots it. You know, they keep coming up to the windows and the doors.
The Suttons continued to open fire on their extraterrestrial attackers. They split up their offensive, with Billy Ray taking the fight to the creatures. But once outside, he was exposed.